I've never been so excited to flush. Look at this. Oh, it's so good. This is so good. Okay, so let me tell you. Oh, here's what I talk about, how it comes up the side. So I just got off of a one-on-one call with my boss, who is the president of the company. Here's what my analysis is right now. I think that there is a massive cortisol release in my body, either when I'm extremely excited or extremely nervous. So I'm not nervous talking to him. He's actually a really nice guy that's been probably my number one supporter since I started at this company. But I was showing him something. We were doing a virtual conference, and I was showing him some reporting that I'm super excited about because it's going to take our company to a whole new level. So as I'm showing him this, and he is validating it and excited about it, and thank you for showing this. This will be great to show in the meeting tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. And I'm getting all this feedback and lovely, wonderful, warm and fuzzies from him. And this starts happening. So here's what I think this is. I think this is an approval seizure without actually having a seizure. So let me just, when I was a child, let's go into like therapy mode. I'm going to kick back into therapy mode. Side note, do you love that I have on like this top for work, and then I've got on yoga pants and tennis shoes? I'm gonna post a picture of what I look like today right here. I hope that worked. If it didn't work, then this is just gonna be awkward. But anyway, so when I was a kid, like I posted about this before, that I have a narcissistic mother. Quote unquote, she's not horrible. Like, she's not a horrible person. Please don't hear me like badgering my mother. My mother is a child of an alcoholic mother. Her father died when she was 4 years old. She got pregnant with my brother when she was 15. 18 months later, or 18-ish months later, she got pregnant with me, and she had to drop out of school, blah, 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 all the things to take care of your kids. So at 25, she got her GED. I'm just speaking her up because she really has done a great job at just from the cards that were dealt to her, she made lemonade out of lemons pretty much. But when I say narcissistic mother, I'm one daughter between two boys, two brothers, and I feel that I was always treated differently. Now, whether this is her story or not, this is my story. So my version of the story, which is very real to me, whether that's what she intended or not. So please hear me not bashing my mother, but telling you my story off the soapbox there. So growing up, I felt like the truth, the story that I told myself was that if I am good, then I will get love. And if I am bad, then love will be taken away. So when you have a mother who's engaging with you and laughing with you and talking with you, and you just want her approval and you just want her validation and affirmation, but she's working third shift at a company, at a factory. She's doing everything she can as a mom of 3 kids to try to hold herself together and be a wife and pay bills and all the stresses that adults have that we don't understand when we're kids. But when we're kids, we look at mom or dad or whoever, we look at them like, you're my everything. Am I your everything back? So we create a story in our head of what does that mean for you to love me? Now, I was not physically harmed. I will talk a lot about being emotionally abused in the sense that it was rare that somebody was like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're a waste of time. That was rare. I don't think anybody ever told me that. But it's still, just because the words weren't said, it was the response in the facial expressions. It was the response in the time spent. It was the response in the tone of voice. All of those things that I think made me wire myself in a way of this is good and good means love, and this is bad and bad means love is taken away, which has followed me into my career. Although I'm a very likable person in work, I don't say that with arrogance. I say that with, normally when I join a company, I do get moved up into the ranks if I haven't started in the higher ranks to begin with. And the same thing has happened at this company, is that they, over time, just actually a short amount of time, were promoting me into other positions, into other positions. And now I sit in a chief officer position. So I am in these high level meetings. I am talking, like today we had an all hands meeting where we talked to the whole entire company, 300 plus employees, about the week prior and there's just more of this. All of that to say, none of this happened in our executive meeting, which there's like 11 of us in there. None of this happened on the all staff channel meeting, web live feed, which is like, I think there were over 200 and something employees on the call this morning. None of that happened. But as soon as I got in the one-on-one call with my boss, just me and him looking at me and me looking at him, and excited about a report that one of my teammates has been working on, working his ass off for the past couple of months, I am looking for that gratification through the camera. Even if I was in front of him, he makes me flush a lot, actually. He's the one that one-on-one makes me flush. And here's why I think that is. I'm doing some therapy on myself here, guys. I think that is because I so badly want his approval and his respect that I'm having what me and one of my friends call an approval seizure. So it comes through my skin. It comes through cortisol in the body and anxiety. So whether that's excitement from being on the call to show him, look at what we've done, and then having his approval come, like he even said, this is great to show tomorrow, that his approval almost, or basically made this happen. The same thing would happen if he was upset with me. And that's what I say, he's not trying to do that to me. Something inside of me is making that happen. And so if you are a flusher from social anxiety, I think you're spot on. I think stress hives, because they're not raised. This is not raised. Let's see. It's just, and if you were like, it's super hot. It's so hot to the touch, and I could feel it when it was happening. And so, yeah, if you're walking around in life and you're just doing this, I think a lot, the light doesn't help. Sorry, the messy room. I'm trying to find a good spot. I think I was better off where I was. And you're just having normal conversation with somebody in a V-cut shirt, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening to you? Are you okay? Are you going to live through this? I think you're having an allergic reaction to something. I'm not having an allergic reaction. Well, I kind of am to myself. But yeah, I will tell you what, this has been so helpful for me to come on camera and talk to you all about this, and to know that there's so many other people out there that are dealing with something very similar. And I wish that I could say, here's 3 simple steps for us to get rid of this. But right now I don't have them. But here's what I do have. We're going to keep on keeping on regardless. And part of the exploration of understanding why we do what we do, not that it's good or it's bad, it just is. I don't feel that this is bad. I don't feel frustrated by this because I can't make it stop. I have at times. But what I do feel is that I am on a journey of healing, whether this is to go or not to go. If I could just get to the underlying source of why it even happens to begin with. And I think the thing is that we endure a lot of things as people. Think about like traumas and things that we've all been through. So some of the story that I just shared with you, somebody could be like, oh, go cry me a river. I was beat as a kid. And that's your story, and that's horrible. But the coding in your system of actually being physically harmed could be a similar coding in my system, that although somebody did not physically hurt me, my body reacted in the sense that they did. So we may have the same similar reactions, or may just have a social anxiety, and this is how your body shows it. Some people get really sweaty armpits. I don't sweat hardly at all, but this happens to me. So you have people who sweat and they're really embarrassed by the sweat under their arms. And you have people who get the facial flushing and then they're really upset because their face flushes and people are like, oh my gosh, your face is so red. You have other people who stress and their hair falls out and they have bald splotches because of the hair falling out. You have other people who, the list could go on and on of different things that happen due to stress or just due to our bodies, eczema and rosacea and things of that nature that give us a look that is not making us feel our most confident. But here's what I've found that is healing for me. This is a safe place. This is a place to I couldn't wait to get the camera up and running so that I could be like, look at me. And I can assure you, I don't walk around in my normal day-to-day life like that. Number one, in my personal life, this doesn't happen. If it does, it's from my body going from hot to cold really fast because of something. That's fine. I totally understand that. Or I'm upset or I'm passionate about something. Totally get that. In the workplace, and again, hear me, I have a very great and supportive environment that I'm in. But I'm wired in my mind that authority figure is there and I belong to that authority figure, which feels totally counterintuitive to who I am and where I'm going in my life. But I love what I do and I love the people I get to do it with. And this coding is in my system that even though nobody's out to physically harm me or harm me in general, my body's still reacting that if I don't perform and please mom well, then love will be taken away. That is so fucked up, but it's real in my life. And so that's where this is happening. And what I've shared with some of you before is because there is, when the stress hits my body, when I'm having a cortisol release hormone, the release is happening, then I have a histamine reaction, a reaction to the histamine, which creates what looks like an allergic reaction. And it's only here, it's down my chest, it's up my neck. And so in most cases, on a normal Monday in the workplace, this is what I do. Now I know that this does not contribute to exposure therapy because I've got my neck hidden, but this makes me not have to think about it. And for me, so much of my healing right now is letting my mind release the thought of this is happening. So yeah, this is happening and people would probably see this, which still looks kind of bad. But if I was in a public setting, I would way rather you see that than see this. Plus the V-necks don't really look that good on me anyway because I got a long neck. So that works in my favor. But, so yes, I do, for my own purposes, I use a tanner because tan skin doesn't make this so extreme. And I wear a higher neck shirt because then I don't have to think about it. So if your brain is not thinking about it and looping it and feeling it and constantly aware of it, then you can start to let it go a little bit. But then I have this over here where I'm talking to you, and this is exposure therapy where I'm like all out, take a look at me, check me out. Hey guys, look friends, look what's going on. And I'm like excited about it because this is another place in our lives where we are coming to, number one, come together as a community of we're not alone in this. Number two, you're not broken. I am not broken. This does not mean anything is broken or necessarily even wrong. It just is. It is a message and a coding that's happening in our bodies. And for me personally, side note, I've gone to the doctor. I've had all the other things ruled out. So this is why I encourage you to go do your own research, talk to your own physicians. My best bet has been to work with a functional neurologist after I talked to the doctors. I worked with a functional neurologist who's the one who taught me about the hormones in the body. And you can look through my other videos, but I also think I was having an allergic reaction to my birth control pills. So there's that. But this is that safe place for all of us to come together and know that we are in this together and that we're not broken and there's nothing wrong with you. And how do we move forth when things like this are happening to us? What do we do with that then? And how do we find this radical acceptance in should this never go away? Because I'm on a journey of healing. I'm on a journey that one day I'm going to get on this camera and go, it doesn't do it anymore. And I've had certain people reach out to me and say, that's my story. It did it for a certain period of time and it doesn't do it anymore. Mine didn't always do this. So if it didn't always do it, I think that it can be undone. It's just getting in there to figure out what it is and nurture it, embrace it a little bit, and not make this my enemy. This is not my enemy. This is my body telling me something based off of whether that's a true story or it's a story that it believes. But think about your own story and my own story. Your story is what you believe. It's yours. So yeah, that's part of the exploration of yourself and figuring out and listening to your body and getting still enough, long enough to know, why is this happening? And at some point, even on this journey, it may not even be about why anymore. It may just be about moving forward. And so for now, in this time being, I'm here to explore and find out what's going on and let my body talk to me, tell me what's going on with it and try to figure that out from the inside. And then we'll deal with the rest later. So you are not alone. You are not broken, my friend. And I hope you're having a great Monday. And I hope you know that you're not alone and that it brings you some sort of comfort to know that you're not alone in whatever it is that you're dealing with. And if you got this stuff going on, welcome to the club. Maybe we're the normal ones. Maybe we're the normal ones here. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe everybody else is really weird. I'll see you later.